Welcome, Peters and Scouts, to a little bit of narrative surrounding the trip that we did, Brian and myself, through Namibia, which we are calling NAM 2024 road trip. So you can see there was some pretty incredible weather, almost like monsoon, like rain. Felt like a bit of a cloudburst, but I think it was just a very intense thunderstorm. But kind of unusual activity, rain in such an arid part of the country. But that was the sort of first taste, I guess, of adventure. So there you can see the map. Namibia is on the west side of the southern tip of Africa. It borders South Africa, and we were driving about 1,000 kilometers, probably about 650 miles, from Upington, which is in South Africa, across the border, which ended up being like a 2-hour delay, and then into Namibia, all the way up to Windhoek at the top. One of the places we passed on our way out of South Africa was Kriegwestad, and it's been quite a scenic trip so far. So some of you have asked about Brian. Who is he? Is he my brother? He's not my brother. I actually met him in South Korea when I taught there, and he is a IT developer, and he's someone who's built my computers over the years, probably 4 or 5 times, often sources equipment for me, laptops and so on. He started doing it in South Korea, and when we both returned to South Africa, we remained in touch. We've always wanted to do a trip to Namibia. We thought we might do it by motorcycle. But anyway, yeah, we are on the road. And we're just sharing some of the sights that we saw on the way. And so, Brian also has an interest in photography, which suits me because we both like to stop and photograph landscapes and points of interest. This was the border post. Yeah. We thought it was quite long on the South Africa side. The Namibia side was even worse. A little bit of humor there. And but what is so special about this kind of trip, and some people don't like it, we do, is the empty landscapes. There are so many roads that are empty from horizon to horizon. Hi guys, we are well on our way to the capital of Namibia. By the way, this country's got the world's tallest sand dunes. So if any of you watched the movie Dune, if you want like this, the biggest sand dunes on this planet, to sort of give you a sense of what's possible on planets, well, this is the country to come to. I don't actually think they've filmed any of Dune here, but who knows, maybe, I mean, if it's called Dune, don't you want to come to the biggest sand dune? So probably at the end of our trip we'll be in that area. Today we're doing about 1,000 kilometers, which is about 600 miles. We've just come through the Namibian border, and it was not fun. I would say the whole thing took 1.5 to 2 hours. Really absurd. Like, give the serial numbers of your laptop, give the serial numbers of your camera. You could swear it's the most honest country in the world that that you're going to and from. There's this strange thing where you go from one room, then you cross the road and you go into a little container place and you fill in a form there, and then they stamp it, then you go to the next room and then again stamp, and then you go to the next one. It's for seasoned travelers like Brian and myself, it's kind of weird. By the way, Brian's not my brother. He is my brother, but not my brother.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah. So we're not far inside Namibia right now. Look at these palm trees. got funny things on them. Like bags around.
Maybe it's around the fruit.
Yeah. So yeah, we not far inside Namibia, probably the first 50 kilometers, but you can see the landscape's changing. We'll update you guys when we're a bit further inside the country, and you can see how it looks a little bit different. It is warm, but certainly not as hot as it can get out here. So yeah, so far so good. See you guys a bit later. Okay guys, it's 2:15 and we're probably 250 kilometers into probably a little bit more. We've got probably about 400 kilometers into the journey, so almost halfway. You can see the landscape starting to change, just in many different ways, getting both flatter and kind of more mountainous. Brian and I stopped for lunch a little while ago. Food was a little bit dodgy, but it's got a nice spot. So yeah, it's 30 degrees Celsius. I think that's 85 Fahrenheit or so. Is it? Somewhere around there? 85? Anyway, so this is where we are now. That's what it looks like. Cut. So this landscape looks a bit like Utah.
Okay.
Ever been there, Brian?
No, I haven't been there, unfortunately. I would like to.
Actually, I'm not really like Utah. It's more like Arizona, I would say, near the Grand Canyon.
Oh, okay.
But going towards Utah. So I'm not sure if you can see in the bazaar quakerbome or quiver trees, which is similar to the Joshua tree in America. It's basically Africa's Joshua tree. Anyway, we'll obviously get closer to them as we go further and further into Namibia. You know, the person driving this car is an incredibly good and handsome driver.
Thank you. I'm here.
So, Brian, what have we been talking about all day? Like, can you give some details?
Oh wow, that's you're really putting me on the spot. What haven't we talked about? Talking about the Pharaoh sex. Talking about past experiences in Korea.
Okay.
Talking about travel experiences. Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good.
It's windy today, right?
Yeah, it's very windy. You have to really watch the car. Luckily, we're in a bit of a heavy car, so I think it's all good. It's a really cool, really nice, very smooth car.
So we more than halfway to Windhoek, right?
Right, so we're about less than 500 kilometers now to Windhoek. About 450 maybe, or between 4 and 450, I would say.
And we're keeping within the speed limit.
Yes, no speeding. I don't want to get a ticket, not in a foreign country. And what's interesting is they make it from not normal. Just realized something. The plastic off the names of the dash cam.
Oh, didn't we?
Oh, I didn't. It's 3.
Hey guys, so it's about 6:45. The sun is real low, and we are not far from our destination, maybe half an hour or so, actually maybe a little bit more, maybe an hour from our destination. You can see we've actually passed the first puddles of water. I think there's a little bit on the left there even. Definitely they've had some rain here. I must say, can you see in the distance how beautiful those hills are? I was saying to Brian that the route that we took basically skipped all the best stuff. So we kind of cut into Namibia from the east, but we basically missed all the best stuff. But from where we are in Windhoek, we are right on the doorstep, essentially, of the Etosha, the Skeleton Coast, the sand dunes, and all the rest. So, although I think if we had tourists with us in the vehicle, they'd be like, "Are you sure there's something here worth seeing?" But if there's any doubt, you guys are going to see something special in the next episode. So this is an introduction to what is going to be amazing. So this is just a brief introduction to Namibia. It's one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world. There's a population of less than 3 million people. It is a pretty big country. I think it's the 34th biggest country in the world. But it's a pretty big country with a very small population. It's also a country of superlatives. It's got the world's highest sand dunes. It's got one of the oldest deserts in the world. It's also got a really interesting history, which we're not going to go into right now. So, if you're unsure of the size, it's 318,000 square miles. So, as I said, it's the 34th largest country in the world after Venezuela. There are equally empty countries, like Australia's a pretty empty country for its size. Canada is another one. Botswana, which is right next to Namibia, is also extremely empty. So we do sometimes stop. You just saw a padstal, which is another word for road stall, and we eventually crossed the Tropic of Capricorn, which is just prior to Windhoek. Our subcontinent doesn't come anywhere near the 45th parallel, which gives you an idea of how dry and hot this sort of climate actually is.
So guys, the guy was saying he's doing fiber installations.
Ah, okay.
And they're on a project.
So guys, here we are at the Tropic of Capricorn. I am actually a Capricorn, so I think I'm coming into my zone. And anyway, this is Brian and me. We've arrived at our destination, basically.
Yeah, very close. Actually, that might be pretty good. That also, I think, is a nice sort of feel to
I hope you've enjoyed this episode from Team Peachtree. Keep weaving, and I'll see you guys next time.